Few true crime cases are as chilling and enigmatic as the mystery of Bella in the Wych Elm. Discovered during the height of World War II in the English Midlands, this macabre case has puzzled investigators, historians, and conspiracy theorists for decades. In April 1943, the skeletal remains of a woman were found hidden inside the hollow trunk of a Wych Elm tree in Hagley Wood, Worcestershire. Despite extensive investigations, her identity and the circumstances of her death remain unknown to this day. And who put her in the Wych Elm? On April 18, 1943, 4 young boys, Robert Hart, Thomas Willits, Bob Farmer, and Fred Payne, were trespassing in Hagley Wood near Hagley Hall, when one of them decided to explore a large Wych Elm tree. Climbing up to peer inside the hollow trunk, Bob Farmer found what he initially thought was an animal skull. But as he looked closer, he realized it was human. The boys, frightened by their discovery and the fact that they were trespassing, initially kept silent. However, the youngest boy later told his parents, and the police were alerted. When authorities arrived, they found a nearly complete skeleton inside the tree. A hand was missing, later discovered nearby. The skull still had some hair and teeth, and there were scraps of clothing and a shoe. Inside the mouth was a piece of taffeta, indicating the woman had likely been suffocated. The remains were examined by forensic experts who concluded that the woman was around 35 years old and had been dead for approximately 18 months to 2 years, placing her death around October 1941. She was approximately 5 feet tall, with brown hair, and had given birth at least once in her life. A pathologist determined that she had likely died of asphyxiation. Given the body's location inside a tree, the killer must have placed her there shortly after death. The narrow opening in the trunk would have made it impossible for her to climb in herself, ruling out suicide. Despite these findings, police had few leads. No missing persons matched the description, and with the country in the midst of war, people moved frequently, and records were often unreliable. The mystery might have faded into obscurity had it not been for a series of strange graffiti messages that began appearing in 1944. Who put Bella in the Wych Elm? The most famous message appeared on a wall in Upper Dean Street and read, "Who put Bella in the Wych Elm, Hagley Wood?" This graffiti fueled public interest and gave the unidentified woman the name, Bella. Theory 1. A vanished barmaid or sex worker. Some locals speculated that Bella was a barmaid or sex worker who disappeared during the war. One theory suggested she was a woman named Clara Bella who frequented pubs in the area, but this was never substantiated. Wartime instability and limited record-keeping made it difficult to trace such individuals. Theory 2. A Nazi spy. In the 1950s, an anthropologist named Margaret Murray suggested that Bella may have been involved in espionage. This theory was bolstered by a declassified MI5 file from the 1950s, which mentioned a German spy ring operating in the Midlands. One of the spies, a Dutch woman known as Clara Bowerly, was rumored to have parachuted into the area during the war and later disappeared. Some claimed Clara resembled reconstructions of Bella's appearance, but evidence linking her to the case was circumstantial at best. Still, the theory that Bella was a Nazi spy captured the imagination of conspiracy theorists and historians alike. Theory 3. A victim of occult ritual. Margaret Murray, also an expert in folklore and witchcraft, proposed a more sinister explanation. Bella was a victim of a pagan or occult ritual. She cited the presence of the tree, the timing of the death, possibly near Beltane, a Celtic holiday, and the missing hand, which she associated with a hand of glory, a magical artifact in occult lore. While this theory is speculative and not supported by physical evidence, it added a dark folkloric element to the case. Who put Bella in the Wych Elm? In recent years, modern forensic science has renewed interest in the case. DNA testing was proposed to match the remains with surviving relatives of missing persons from the era, but the current location of Bella's remains is unclear, and it's believed the original files have been lost or destroyed. The Bella mystery endures not just because of the unanswered questions, but because of the atmosphere surrounding it. The remote woodland setting, the war-torn backdrop, the missing hand, the suffocating cloth, and the chilling graffiti all contribute to a sense of eerie timelessness. It is a case where folklore, true crime, and history intersect, leaving behind a trail of clues, myths, and shadows. Whether Bella was a spy, a victim of ritual murder, or a forgotten woman who fell through the cracks of wartime Britain, her story continues to haunt and fascinate.